Hi, everyone. Carmen Denisco here from UIA TV. We got a special show today because, I was talking and checking around, and there are some shows, live shows coming back. And I was talking with Rose Schmidt, and I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correct, or she's going to let me have it. And she's having a show called the National Lawn and Garden Show, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be coming up, and I forget the dates of it because we were just talking about, but we'll go through all that with her. And I want to let people know and talk about it, let you know why you should attend. So let's bring her on and go over it. Rose, what's happening?
Hey, hi, Carmine. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. This is such an impromptu show. I didn't even know what the heck I was saying. It's just, it's
Good.
but I wanted to have you come on the show because I think it's important that your show is going to be one of the first shows with
First,
people coming and being there physically, right?
yes, yeah, the demand is great this year. Everybody wants to get back together, so it's exciting. We are the first live show of the season.
Wow, that's amazing. It's so good. I'm just relieved because we get a lot of people. I tell people all the time, I'm zoomed out. I just I just want to go to a show and talk to people in person.
Well, there's an energy, when there's a lot of people gathered together. There's a certain energy and synergy, if you will, that is not duplicatable in a Zoom platform.
Yeah, I totally agree. Whenever I leave or I'm at a show, I do get excited. I feel the energy, and it's just fun to talk to people who are, in that same mindset. And this year coming up, and maybe the following years, I think is going to be really ramped up because of what we've all gone through.
I agree. The
Yeah.
demand is very high, very high. So yeah, the show dates this year are June 15th and 16th, and we're going to be in Dallas, Texas. It's actually Irvine, Texas, but we're right there at the DFW Sheraton Airport Hotel. It's a real quick, easy in and out for 2 days. The airport has a shuttle from the airport. You can see the hotel. It's very close. It's convenient for everybody. They just did a major renovation to the hotel not too long ago, so it's looking really great. And of course, it's a Marriott brand, so they're doing a great job with social distancing and cleaning and everything that they need to do to make sure that everybody's safe this year, which is important, as we move forward.
Yeah. Well, that does make it easier to be able
Mhm.
to be at the airport and just go to that hotel because that's one of the things people think about. I mean, prices for things are really skyrocketing. So to be able to have the show right there, I mean, that probably helps, right?
Yeah, yeah. Not only that, but rent-a-cars are at a shortage these days in many cities. I don't know if it is in Dallas or not, but attendees don't have to bother with it. They can just grab the shuttle, hop on over, and we open the show on Monday night. We have a great opening reception. We do cocktails and dinner, and it's a networking opportunity. Everybody gets together. It's a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So tell me, a little bit of background on on the show. I mean, I as the a member and a board member of UIA, we go to a lot of shows. We've heard of the show. Always wanted to come out to it. When did it start, or how did you get involved in it?
Well, the show actually started in 1995. It was founded by Bob Mikolas, and it was a family-run business of his for 20 some years. And he was originally had a product in the lawn and garden industry. It was wildflowers, and it was a big packet of wildflower seeds that you throw out, and you get these beautiful wildflowers to grow. And he was really struggling as a new inventor of this product with a new product to the market. And he was doing some of the national shows, booth style shows. And he was just finding it very difficult to meet with buyers and really get that conversation going and getting his product into the retail sector. And so he through his frustration, he's like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And that's when he discovered that face-to-face meetings, custom matching people, guaranteeing people a meeting with a buyer, he felt was a better way to go. So he had some help in designing it. Our program is written specifically for us because we do a custom matching When buyers register for our show, they pick the categories of product that they're sourcing, and then we custom match them with the vendor based on that category matchup. So it's a very precise scheduling system that we go through. But anyway, it was through his frustrations and that he designed the program and designed the show. And here we are 26 years later, still carrying on. So the Lawn and Garden Show, the folks in the lawn and garden industry are very down to earth people. And I know that's kind of a funny thing to say, lawn and garden, but you know, they're just a really good group of people. And we specialize in a particular type of buyer to our show. And I think, you know, I talk to people with new products all the time, and a lot of times they'll say, you know, I really want to get into the big box stores, you know, if I can just get Home Depot, or if I can just get, you know, Lowe's, you know, I'll be off and running with my product. And what they don't realize is that there's a whole nother arena of retail that goes on out there that's not just the big box guys. And it can be a much more friendlier place to operate and can be very lucrative. And so that's what we specialize in. We specialize in the mid-tier lawn and garden buyer. And that means that in order to qualify to be a buyer at the event, they have to have 5 or more brick and mortar stores, or they have to have 10 million in hardline sales a year. So some of our buyers have only 1 or 2 stores, but they're very large operations. But not only in the retail sector, you know, you've got those mid-tier retailers that fall under the big box guys, but then you have all your little mom and pop operators out there in the world that have their lawn and garden shops. And there's over 10,000 of them in the US today. And independent garden centers typically go through a distribution channel to get their products. So the other half of our buyer is not just retailers, but it's the wholesale distributors. And in the hotel distributor world, you have your large distributors, you have medium distributors, and you have small distributors, and they're all different. And then there's also buying groups, and then there's also a huge e-commerce and catalog group as well. So it's a very diversified group of buyers in that mid-tier level that we bring to the show and match and schedule appointments with the vendors to meet with them. So it's a great network of group of guys and girls.
Is there any other show with this type of process? I mean, what I love about what you're doing is, and I hate to use the word guarantee, is you're putting a buyer in front of the person who has a product that buyer might want. Is there any other show? I mean, I go to shows and you stand there at the booth and you're hoping a buyer walks by, you know, and you see everybody, and it's kind of frustrating. It's fun, but you never know what's going to happen at your show. I mean, is there any other shows that do this?
There are a couple different other industries that do this, like the meeting and planning industry does this, where they'll take meeting planners to a hotel and they'll do speed dating with several different hotel groups. And that's kind of how our show got evolved was from that whole platform. And then there is another platform I want to call, I think it's CRM, but I don't want to be quoted on that. But it's a very large group that does all kinds of products, food products, grocery products, you know, the types of products. It's huge. But ours is really, in lawn and garden, the only show that guarantees face-to-face appointments with buyers. And so it's exciting.
It's exciting. It's way, for any of you new in product, it's way worth any price. I mean, because again, you could go to a show that is not guaranteeing a meeting and basically, you know, just get a lot of business cards, you get to talk, and it is fun. It is exciting. I don't mean it like that, but to go to a show where, you know, not only are you going to show your product to a certain amount of buyers, you get to perfect your pitch, you get feedback from the buyers. Even if the buyer isn't going to be interested, you're going to get real world feedback. I mean, I think all of those things are important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Very important, especially for new products. We do have a special section for our new product display. And the product has to be new to the market, less than a year, you know, on the market. And our buyers will give the vendors feedback on their product. And it's very, very vital. You have, you know, all these guys that have been in the industry for 20 plus years. They know when they see a product, what needs to happen. And so the feedback that you get from that industry professional is huge. And so our new product display section, we do awards as well. We have first, second, and third place awards. And this year we're going to have you guys, the United Inventors Association, there at the show and handing out those first, second, and third place awards. So that'll be a lot of fun. There's some cash involved, so everybody likes a little extra cash. And it's just a great way to get that extra publicity and extra feedback from the buyers when they see the product. So yeah. It's funny because a lot of times new inventions, people with new products, they spend a lot of time and energy getting the product to market. And so then once it comes to market, the sales and marketing component is a whole nother arena. And they might not have thought about the packaging or the point of purchase display. How is it going to look in the retail setting? How much room is it going to take up? Things like that. So they'll get all that feedback back from the buyers in the new product display. So
yeah. Well, the great part, Rose, and I know, and I don't mean this a bad way, I know you know what you're doing because of some of the things that you're talking about. And it's so important that new product developers and new people to retail listen in on this and go and get this knowledge, this education, because as you said, like a Lowe's, a Home Depot, they are great to do retail products. But as a newbie or a single vendor or something like that, it's so much easier to do work with a mid-tier retailer and so much more fun. Yeah, one or two will equal maybe the orders or the purchase orders, but working with a big box store, it is a real headache.
It is. And I'll tell you one other thing that I've heard over the years is that, new product development, you want to be careful about your patents and about your product, and nobody wants to get it stolen from them and duplicated and that sort of thing. And sometimes, and this has happened to folks where a big box picks them up and they do well for the first or the second year in a big box setting. And then the big box company decides that they can go and knock this product off cheaper themselves in another country. And so just as the retailers getting, or the vendors getting ready to up their manufacturing because they're doing really well, the big box guy says, "Oh, sorry, we're not going to carry your product anymore." And and unfortunately, it's put a lot of the little guys out of business. It really hurts them in the long run. So I always caution a new inventor or new product to just be very careful about where your market is. Who's truly your market. And sometimes it's good to be in that mid-tier market. And some people don't ever want to play in the big box once they get into the mid-tier. So, and there's a very, careful way of pricing with your map pricing if you are going to do online sales, like with Amazon and that sort of thing. So, they need to be, careful on that as well. Yeah. So nothing against big box, but sure. There's a lot of product out there that's not in the big box stores that's very unique and has a very niche marketing and can be sold very well in other areas. So
yeah, no, and it's funny, Rose, when we talk about mid-tier or small, we're talking about thousands of stores still.
Thousands. Yes. If you had to try to reach 10,000 independent garden centers, good luck, knocking on doors of those folks. And a lot of them, they don't have time to take an appointment to learn about one particular product because they're so busy. And so most of your independent garden centers are buying through the distribution channels because they get service, they get quality, they get discounts, and it's just easier for them to go to a distributor show and place their order for the year and be done. And instead of trying to piecemeal all their individual inventory together.
Yeah, that's great. That's
and
awesome.
I'll tell you, one of the things that I do get, from vendors every year that do attend our show is a meet and greet show. We're there to introduce you to the players. Once you've learned who the players are, then you can pick and choose who you want to work with or who's a good fit for you. But it's really important to get to know everybody, meet everybody, and decide, who's the right fit for you. And distributors all have their own shows. In the fall, they start in September, they go through October. The distributors will put on their own booth style show. Now, if you're going to go to a booth style show, that's the show you want to go to, because all of their independent retailers are coming to their show to place their orders for the following season.
Wow.
And so those are the writing shows, and that's where you want to go. And they can be expensive. Those distributor shows start, some of them are 3,000, but they go up to 10,000.
Yes.
They can be very expensive, but I'll tell you, that's where the inventory gets sold, and that's where it's getting written. And distributors at our show will say to a vendor that they want them to come to their show. And sometimes the vendors are like, God, I can't afford to go to all these distributor shows. And I understand that, pick and choose, pick the ones that, give a couple of them a try, but don't, poo-poo the distributor shows, because that's where the heart of your ordering takes place. And so we encourage them to learn about the different distributors and learn about the different shows and attend those shows. And there's a pricing that's involved in that, but we don't get involved in that, because it's just too much information between the vendor and the manufacturing and the distributor. Our goal is to introduce you, introduce you to them. The details of all of that is up to you. So in that introduction, if you do come to our show, you better get down your 10-minute elevator pitch, because that's what you got, is 10 minutes to make an impression.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because of the way that it's set up, the show's set up. People need to be ready. And that's what I was going to ask you is, during that meeting, how much time did they had? And are there some key points that you think that someone that's coming to the show for the first time should be ready for?
I would practice the elevator pitch and time it, because each appointment is 10 minutes. It is timed. The ringer's going to go off. You're going to be done, and it's time to move to the next appointment. It is truly a speed dating format. So, it's we do a matchup with the vendors and the buyers before the show. So the vendor will have an opportunity to preview the buyers that they're going to be meeting with, and they'll get to know a little bit about, the style. What is the buyer? Is he a distributor? Is he a retailer? Is he a catalog? Is he e-commerce? Who am I talking to? They should know that in advance to that meeting, who they're talking to. And then in that 10 minutes, they need to have their sell sheets. They need to have catalogs. They need to have whatever collateral. Sometimes people will take one of their products and carry it with them to the table. For example, I have this, one of the vendor products from a couple of years ago, and they'll take it with them when they go to the 10-minute appointments, put it on the table and say, this is me, this is my product. And so they've got to practice that 10-minute elevator pitch, and they need to listen to the buyer and let him ask questions, so when they come to the table, hi, I'm so-and-so, this is our company, this is what we have. Do you have any questions for me? And get the buyer to start talking to them is really key. So we work hard on trying to get our vendors ready, but it's an experience, and I really recommend a vendor who is going to experience it, really plan on doing it 3 years in a row, because here again, it's that relationship building that takes place, and buyers are inundated with product like crazy. And sometimes it's kind of like, the old saying, 3 times the charm, or however that saying goes. Sometimes it takes you meeting him 3 times before the buyer's going to say, okay, I'm finally ready to bring you on, because it is a relationship building process. And that's the key, is starting to get the introduction, building that relationship, getting the confidence of the buyer to know that you're going to be able to supply what they need.
Wow. Rose, you're hitting it right on the head. I totally agree with you. I know for a fact that people go to shows the first time, they're learning the ropes, the second time they're meeting people, and always on that third time, they're getting some purchase orders or they're meeting the right people. And I don't know what it is, but you're exactly right. It's that third time.
3 times the charm.
So I want to kind of go back to, the name National Lawn and Garden Show. Can you kind of give a little perspective on the types of product? Because I might have somebody who says, well, I have a lawn chair. Does that work? Or I have a lawn toy, or is those types of things. So is there a spectrum of products that would kind of fit into that?
It's huge. The product
Yeah.
spectrum is huge. It is hard lines. So we're not a greens. We don't do the plant part of it. So it is all of the hard lines. So it's rakes and shovels and agriculture, and we have a lot of farm and ranch guys. People raising chickens has gotten to be real popular. So anything that has to do with your outdoor environment of your home, we're not big on furniture. Furniture kind of has its own specialty, really. They do it a little bit different, but it's gloves and hats and women's gardening and tools and everything that goes with seeds. The category list is huge.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So anything, anything that has to do with growing, growing products, growing plants, growing food. Yeah, I don't know. Did I answer your question?
No, it did. Because I was speaking with some people because I thought the setup was so good that I was really trying to get as many people, even if you, just to get to talk to a buyer. It's very nerve-wracking. So just that practice and sitting there and getting the questions. So I was just getting some questions on, well, I have this type of product. I have this type of product. And I wanted to say, just go,
Well, and they can always call us too, and we can run through the category list to make sure that there's enough buyers there. But there's a brand new product on the market that's coming to the show this year called wine grass. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I don't have one to show you, but this is a product that is a clip-on tool that goes onto like a lawn chair, right? And it holds a wine glass. So now, is that a lawn and garden product? Well, I don't know, but they feel that we have the audience for them to show their product, and they're coming, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, products, just like the iPhone and other products, there were products that are made for a specific market, but they have branched out on their own.
Yes.
So, who are we to say that a wine cup or holder can't go onto a lawn chair or can't sit out in the lawn?
Right. So also interesting also is pet products, because many of our buyers are buying pet products as well as lawn and garden products. Okay. So if you have anybody out there that's got a new pet product, I highly encourage them to attend the show.
That's huge. See right there, the pet industry, we have, a lot of inventors with pet products. So that's, that's why it's so great to have, I wanted you to have the show so we can explain to people, because I was feeling so many questions. I was just like, okay, I'm going to have Rose on. She's going to go through this, and we still are going to answer. Exactly. But no, it's so awesome to have you on to be able to at least explain a little bit about what's happening. I just like the format myself. I would love for more shows to have this format. I think that people knowing that they're going to get to sit in front of at least one buyer, it's going to be more. It's well worth the cost.
It is. It truly is. I mean, most people spend $5,000 to $10,000 to go to a booth style show. And, there's no guarantee you're going to talk to that buyer. You're going to talk to a lot of people? Yeah. Is it going to be fun? Yeah. But, return on investment for that kind of a show, it's hard to work those numbers. But I think that, everybody's ready. I think, everyone's ready for that human contact. They're ready to get back together face to face. And, we thought about doing a completely virtual show for this year. And we just decided that, the demand is too high to get face to face. And we are going to have a hybrid component to the show this year. We are going to bring in some of our buyers who are unable to attend live. So that 10-minute appointment is going to be a Zoom meeting with the buyer. But, some of them are in Canada and can't get here. And others, for whatever reason, aren't ready yet. So, we're going we're going hybrid.
Yeah.
We're going
Well,
to be there for who wants to be there, and we'll bring in who we have to.
yeah. Well, you're adapting. And like you said, it's just going to get better.
Yeah.
There's no reason to put it off. I know there's a lot of people that have products that want to just get out of the house, and being able to sit down, go to a great show, knowing you're going to talk to some buyers. It's well worth it. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
And the area where you're having it is a nice area.
It's a nice area. And, like I said, it's right there at the airport. So it's real easy in and easy out. No fuss, no muss. And I think also we do want to offer a discount on the show price to your members. If you have somebody with a new product, and our standard registration price is $39.95, and for anybody that's a part of your organization, we'll do the registration at $3,500. So it's
Wow.
about a $500 discount.
That's the price of an airline ticket.
Yep, there you go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. We're going to be telling, we were already telling people about the show. We're going to keep pushing it out there for any of you listeners or watchers that are looking. It's the National Lawn and Garden Show, NLG, the word show.com. And, it's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to go. I get to run and talk to some inventors of products, but also some buyers there. Every show I go to, I just have so much fun talking to people, and it's a lot of education for me too. I love learning about the different things.
Yeah. There's a lot of very unique lawn and garden stuff out there. And I'll tell you what, the industry in general has just skyrocketed since COVID. We have, I think the statistic on it was 13.8 million new gardeners have entered the industry this year. Yeah. So
Wow.
if you have a lawn and garden product and you're not doing well, there's something wrong, because that's huge.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. It's
Yeah.
so much fun. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today. It's really
Thank you.
important. I'm looking forward to seeing you out in Texas during the show. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to push this out. I want all our listeners to know, get in touch with you. Should they call you directly, or should they just go to the website and kind of fill out the forms?
They can do it both ways. The website is one way, but absolutely, feel free to give me a call. Our office number, if you want me to say it, is 719-488-0226, and we're always available. We're here in Colorado, so we're on Mountain Standard Time. But we're more than happy to talk to anybody who wants to learn more.
Yeah, you're probably fielding a lot of questions.
Yes.
That's why I was hoping this will help. And I really, myself, I wanted to learn about the format also. So, Rose, we appreciate you coming on. We will see you out in Texas, as I mentioned. And if there's any questions out there for you listeners, please get in touch with Rose. Go on out to NLG, the word show, NLGshow.com, and sign up. If you have a lawn and garden product, if you're not sure, just check it out. Make sure, because I really, again, think that this format is very, very important for any seasoned product developer, but also for new product developers to really get out there and pitch your product. So for Rose, for myself, Carmine, we appreciate you listening today, and we will catch you next time on UIA TV. You all take care.